viewers. Good afternoon to all of you. I welcome you once again to my class. We people have been doing parts of speech till now, and in this ongoing series of different parts of speech, today we will be focusing on modal verbs. I am Dr. Vandana Vik, Professor of English at the Mahavir Institute of Management and Technology, Muradabad, College of Management of Tirthankar Mahavir University. So once again, I welcome you all in my class of modal verbs. Yeah. So modal verbs, it's a very common name because all these parts of speech, different parts of speech that we are doing, this is something which we people have already learned. It's nothing new. So it's a sort of revision which we people are doing. In the junior classes, like these are the stepping stones towards grammar. So all of you at the initial stage of our education, like from 1st to 8th, we slowly and gradually at different levels we master all these parts of speech. So I'll be focusing on some important points some important parts of the English grammar, and in that series today it is modal verbs. So modal verbs are very commonly known as modals. Are the verbs which are a type of verbs, and they are used to reflect the mood of the sentence. Mood related to modals, that means it is the mood of the sentence. Whether the sentence is a command, or is it a permission, or it's an ability or request. For example, it may rain today. It may rain today. So it is a probability. Okay, I can do this work. It's an ability that I can do this work. May I come in? That is a request. That is like somebody is seeking permission. That may I come in? I will work hard to get this project. I will shows determination. So there are different modal verbs which are used in English grammar, and these modal verbs play a very important role in the correct usage of grammar, in showing expressions in the grammar. So these modal verbs are like, once let's revise. They are can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must, have to, used to, dare to, need to, and few. Maybe I might have missed one or two, but they are shall, should, they are also there. So these are the words, these are some words which are used as modal verbs. Now what is the learning objective of our modal verbs? What are the learning objective of this class on modal verbs? So first of all, means learning modal verbs, it will lead to a clear understanding of what modals are. A clear understanding of what modal verbs are and what are their functions. Means what are the basic functions they perform in English grammar. Then the second is the learner will learn to accurately use different type of modals and express so that they are able to express properly ability, possibility, determination, permission, all these. Then the third is mastering the grammatical rules governing the use of modals, includes their forms, their negations. Questions means how we make questions, how we use negatives. So how are these modal verbs used in forming interrogative sentences, negative sentences? So that is what we will learn. Then next is that improve the ability to convey nuances. Nuanced meanings means the meanings which will be applicable as per the sentence. And the last is develop the skills to apply modals. Means the learner will develop the skill to apply nuances in various types of in various contexts, like email writing, report writing, and whatever context they want to use it. After the modal verb, after this the learning objectives, we have table of contents, and in these table of contents, where we are going to focus is what is a modal verb, definition and purpose of modals, then importance, their types, then characteristics, rules, conditions in which they are used, usage and examples. So all of you please be ready for this class on modals. It's going to be very interesting. Though there will be, this number of slides will be a little more, but then it is a repetition only, means something which I have discussed in short, and then to explain things to you in a better manner, I had put them separately in different slides also. So definition and purpose. Modals, what are the modals? They are auxiliary verbs. Okay, they are what auxiliary verbs that express possibility, ability, permission, determination in a sentence. Then this is as it is examples. You can see that the examples are can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, etc. There are must and there are many. Now the purpose. What is the purpose of learning these modals? The purpose of learning these modals is that they help convey different shades of meaning. Just I said, different shades of meaning and add nuances to the meaning, to the sentences. So like for example, she can swim versus she must swim. Now there the nuances means meaning. The difference in meaning. She can swim, she must swim. Both are modals, but can means it is like we are showing the ability. The sentence shows the ability of a girl that she can swim. And must shows the requirement that she must swim. Yeah. Now the importance of modals. The importance of modals. The first one is the importance of modals in the English language, that is expressing nuances, means different meanings. The sentence remains the same, but with a little change in the sentence, like can or could. Could is the past form of can, but can and could. Must, may or might. Shall or should. What happens? The meaning of the entire sentence changes. Then clarity in communication. Means a person will be able to speak properly. Once a person having the knowledge of modals, the understanding, the speaking, the writing process, means the communication becomes better and clear. Means you should go or you must go. There is a lot of a difference, isn't it? You should go is a suggestion that somebody is advising, somebody is giving a suggestion that you should go. But you must go, it shows a forced command, or it shows a command that you must go. Means there is a strong requirement for you to go. Then the third one is politeness and formality. May I come in? Can I come in? These are the words which show formality, which show politeness also. May I come in? Can I come in? Is formal. Means you are simply asking for permission. You are simply asking the person to come in. But may I come in is a polite way, a polite request. Like if the person will permit you to come in. Then condition, the modal verbs are important for grammatical accuracy. Obviously, the meaning of the entire sentence changes. A sentence becomes grammatically correct or grammatically incorrect with the wrong or incorrect usage of modals. Then the next is conditional statements. Obviously, modals, the conditions in the sentences, they are based on the modal verbs. Now, our next is characteristics. What are the characteristics of these modal verbs? The first one is lack of inflection. Lack of inflection means the modal verbs, they do not change. No conjugation for person or number. No conjugation means that it does not change. The form of the modal doesn't change with the person or number. There are certain verbs in which are changed with singular. Means singular noun, singular subject, and the verb changes its form. Plural subject, the verb changes its form. Like I can give you an example. Boys play. means if the boys if subject is in plural, the boys play. So the verb which we will use is simple play. But when I say the boy plays, so if the boy, when the boy is in singular, the verb play takes s after it. So this kind of difference is not there in modal verbs. Then for an example, he, we, they means can remains the same whether we use it with he, whether we use it with we or they or I also. Then the second one is, like we can say I can go, he can go, they can go. But it will never be he cans go, they cans go or they can goes. So all these are incorrect. Now the next one is negation. Negation means negative sentences. Means add not to negative sentences. Means negative sentences in negative informed by adding a modal verb. Means examples can. After the modal verb, not is added in a negative sentence. She must not do this work. I cannot go to the market today. So always I is the subject, can is the modal verb. So after can or after must, we add not to make a negative sentence. Then the third one is inversion. Inversion for questions. Means inversion with subject. Means in questions modal invert with the, for example, you can go. Can you go? So there is an inversion. Simple sentence, you can go, but when we change it into an interrogative form, the sentence is inverted because the can, which was you can go, becomes can you go. Then the second is no do support. Means do word is not used. Generally in the English grammar, when we are making sentences, means when we are asking questions, do you like eating mangoes? Do you want to sit here? So this do word is not used with any of the modals. Then next is can you go? He cannot go. Do you can go? He does not can go. So do and does are not used with the modals. Then the next is base form of main verb. Modals, they use the base form followed by bare infinitives. There are two things, means bare infinitives. Like modals are followed by the bare form of infinitives. Bare form of infinitive verbs. That is, for example, she can swim, not she can too swim. She can too swim. Means it is the bare form of infinitive. Infinitive one form is to plus verb. So that becomes infinitive. But bare infinitive is the simple verb. Then the second is express different functions. Means modal verbs, they express different functions with various meanings. Like modals say different, means we have discussed earlier also that they reflect ability, possibility, determination, probability. All these verbs are depicted by the modal verbs. Then no past form. Modal verb doesn't have any past form. It has limited past tense. Okay, it has limited past tense. Like it has a past form that is could. Can, the past form is could. Means like must, use. All these verbs, there are no past forms. And there is had to. Had to is used in place of must, in place of use. Then used to. Then no gerund or infinitive forms. Modals do not have any gerunds or any infinitive forms. Infinitive means to in front of the verb. That to in front of the verb, that makes it an infinitive form. And gerund is ing form. So musting, mighting, canning, there is no such word in the English grammar. After this, a couple of more, some more are like we have seen here. It is written what can is used for. Can is used for ability or possibility. She can swim. It can be her ability also, and it can be a possibility also. Like I'll explain it. She can swim. The ability means she knows how to swim. That is her ability to swim. And she can swim. She can swim. Possibility. Possibility means Like the weather is fine, she can swim. So there is a possibility there. Then the second is could. Could is the past ability or polite request. Could you please give me a glass of water? So that is, could you please help me? Then third is may. May is permission. Permission or possibility. You may come in. You may sit down. Okay, or it may rain today. So it is possibility. It is possibility also, and it is permission also. Then next is might. Might is possibility. It might rain. It might rain tomorrow. Then we have must. Must is necessity or strong obligation. It is a must to reach on time. It is a must to reach. It is a must to complete the work on the assigned time. Okay, so that is, it is some strong obligation or it is a necessity. You must take care of your parents. That is a strong obligation. Then shall. Shall is future intention. That means more common in British English. Means these days we are not very frequently using the word shall, but it was more common in British English. And then you shall reach on time. Today we say you must reach on time or you have to reach on time. But in the British English it was, the shall word was very frequently used. Then should. Should is advise. Advise or recommendation. Advise, you should learn your lessons properly. That is an advice. Right? Then the next is will. Will is for future intention or promise. When you promise something, when you are determined to do something, I will finish my homework today. So I will choose the determination. Right? Then would. Would is polite request or hypothetical situation. Would you like some coffee? So that is hypothetical. The person can say yes or the person can say no. And understanding these characteristics help to correctly use modals for perfect English usage. After the characteristics, we will move forward to these modal verbs. You can see that I have already mentioned these modal verbs. They are auxiliary verbs that provide additional specific meaning to the sentence, to the main verb of the sentence. These modal verbs, they provide extra meaning to the main verb of the sentence. And one thing is, modal verbs are sometimes referred to as modal auxiliary verbs also. Then this is the form. This is the form. How do we use modals? The first is subject, then modal plus verb plus the rest part of the sentence, whether it is an object or it is another complete sentence. Subject, verb, modal and verb. She can swim. She can swim. She is the subject, can is the modal and swim is the verb. So this is the format that we follow. Means it is used in front of the verb. The next form is there are S. There is no S with singular. This I have just discussed, that whether it is singular or whether it is plural, whether the subject, whatever, whether the subject is in singular or the subject is in plural, there is no S. There are no cans. She cans go. They cans go. No, there are no cans. There are no musts. There are no mights. There are no mays. So S form is not used with any of the modal verb. Then the next form is there are no modal verbs. Modal verbs do not have infinitive or ing forms. There are no infinitives. She too can swim. So that too can, it makes an infinitive. No, there is no. She can swim or she can too swim. No, there is no. She can too swim means swim as an infinitive. No, modals don't take it. And then there is no ing form, means gerunds also are not there. She can swimming. No, that is also incorrect. So these things are not there in the modals. Infinitives are not there, or gerunds or ing forms are not used in modals. Then modals verbs are followed by an infinitive without to. Means infinitive without to. She must study. That is what we have said, bare infinitives. Infinitives without to are called bare infinitives. She must study. We should have gone the other way. he could play football in his youth. So all these, they are bare infinitives. So the next form, the third form of modals. Till now we have discussed two forms in which modals can be used. Now this is the third form in which modals can be used. It is, they do not have all the tenses. Modal verbs do not have all the tenses. That is, can is completed with be able to. Modal verb is other verb to complete the tense. Means if somewhere modals are not used, then other verbs are there. Means can is completed with be able to. Then must is completed with have to. In another, when we change the form, can, we do not change. Can is not canned or cans or canning, nothing. It is be able to. Then we substitute it with the word be able to. So the example here is, they can play the piano, they will be able to play the piano. Means in the future, when we change modals from simple present to the future, then it is may be able to. They are able to. So next, again, once we are going to revise the modals, these are the 10 modals basically: can, could, may, might, ought, shall, should, will, would. There are others also. These are the main ones which I have mentioned, but there are others also. Then, now I am going to take up all these modal verbs separately, one by one, and then later on there is a chart. There is a chart in which the modals are there. Means I have provided the chart also, and I will be discussing them individually also. So for your better understanding, can, it is in present form. Can is a modal which is in present form, and this shows ability to do something. Ability to do something in the present. I can speak in English. I can cook well. I can dance. I can write. I can read fluently, or I can speak fluently. So that is can. Now second point, second usage. These are along with the modal verbs and their tenses. There are usage also which I have mentioned. The second is, the usage is permission to do something in this present. Means permission to do. It is used, can is used to do something. Can is used to give permission to do something in the present. Can I go to the market? Can I go to the market? Can I eat this? Can I eat this dish? Can I eat a mango? So this is that. Then the third one. The third one is, can in the present one is a request. Can you please lend me your pen? Can you please lend me your pen? Can you wait a moment please? So all this can is used to permission, to show permission. Then can in the present, the fourth use is offer. Means I can lend you my pen. I can lend you my car. So this is what is when we are offering something. I can share my lunch with you. That is an offer you are giving to the other person. Then the fifth is suggestion. Suggestion is, can we wait grandma? Can we visit grandma at the weekend? So that is what is it? It is suggestion. Can we go to the market tonight? This is suggestion. Then the next one is, the sixth use is possibility. The possibility is, it can get very hot in the next week. It can get very hot in May. Then after this, after can, we come to could. After can, we come to could. Could is past modal. Could is the past form of a modal. So could shows ability to do anything in the past. When I was young, I could run very fast. When I was in school, I could play football with my friends. Then the next use of could is permission to do something in the past. That is, I could go to the cinema. I could cook fish. Then the third one is polite question. The third one is polite question. Could I go to the office please? Could I go to the cinema please? That is polite.
Then the next one is polite request and polite offer. I could lend you my pen. I could lend you my pen till your work is finished. I can lend you my car till tomorrow. So after this, next one is polite suggestion. Polite suggestion. Could we visit grandma at the weekend? This we have already discussed. Then 7 possibility. It could be very hot in the Montana. That's we have discussed. Now we come to may. May is present. May is used in present or in future tense. That is, it is used for first usage of may is possibility. It may rain today. That means we are assuming there is a possibility if the weathers are dark outside, if the clouds are dark outside, or if the weather is a little changing, then we can say that it may rain today. Then might is in future. Might is in present as well as might is in future. Might is hesitant, offer. Might I help you? But this is not very commonly used. Might I help you? I might do this work. Then must. Next is must. Must in the present modal. What is must? Usage force. Force or necessity. Means when we need to, you must reach college on time. That is a necessity. Or you must take care, you must take good care of yourself. Okay, so this is a necessity also, and it can be forced also. You must complete this work today before leaving. That is a force, means something which is being forced upon. That forcefully you have to complete this work. So must are used for force as well as necessity. Then the next one is must is in present model. Must in present. What is the usage of must in present tense? That is possibility. You must be late. You must be tired. Means you must be late. You must be tired. So it is a possibility. It shows that if somebody is getting ready and maybe if he's the other person can just look and say you must be late. Means you need to hurry. Means it is time that you are late. Or looking at someone when you say when we say you must be tired. Means looking at the expression from the face, it is visible that the person is tired. So there is a possibility that the person is tired or the person is in pain. Then the next one is present only. There is advice or it is a recommendation. You must see the doctor tomorrow positively. So that is an advice. You must see the doctor tomorrow positively. Then the next one is will. The next one which we are discussing is will. So what is will for? First is will is for wish, request or demand or order. Will you please open the door? Will you please open the door? I will buy a car. I will buy a car someday. So that is a wish. Okay. Will you open the door? That is an order. Then request. Will you give me a glass of water? Will you bring me a glass of water? That is a request. And then we have demand. I will look into this matter. I will come. I will see you tomorrow. And then order. Order is you will complete this work by today evening. So that is an order. Will. So the second use of will, that is will is used. Will is a modal which is used to show prediction. Prediction means it will rain on Friday. So when it is a prediction also, or it can be an assumption also. It will rain on Friday. So that can be a prediction also, and that can be an assumption also. It will take us 2 more hours to finish this work. So that is an assumption, because the work can be finished in 2 hours or it can be finished it can be a little after the 2 hours also. So this is prediction and this is an assumption for which will is used. The third usage of will is promise. Promise. I will stop smoking.
So that is, you are promising somebody, maybe yourself, that I will stop smoking. I will complete my work by this week. So that is a promise that I will complete my work by this week. So there can be a number of examples which we can use with these sentences. Then number 4 is will is used for spontaneous decision. Spontaneous, can somebody drive me to the station? I will. Means when, if I ask somebody, can anyone give me the answer of this question? I will. Can anyone drive me to the station? I will. Can anyone lend me a pen? I will. So this is what is spontaneous. Spontaneous decisions. Then will is habits. Will is used to denote habits. She is strange. She is strange. She will sit for hours without talking. That means when we need to denote any habit of somebody, we use will. She is strict. She will not accept any excuse. Right? She is strict. She will not accept any excuse. Then the next is possibility. Now possibility with will. Will, possibility is 100%. May, it is 80%. And might, it is 20%. Now the next is must not, may not. Present and future. Must not, may not. First is prohibition. Must not is used for prohibition. You must not work on dad's computer. You must not touch the important papers of the teacher. You must not open the cupboard of your mother. Okay, so this is prohibition. You may not work on dad's computer. So this here, may is used for future. Means you may not. May and must, they both are used for prohibition. You may not touch my table. You may not touch my papers. Then the next is need not. Need not is used in present and in future. Need not modal is used for present tense and for future, to denote present as well as to denote future. Means not necessary, something which is not necessary. You need not worry. You need not worry about the finance. I look into it. Okay. Then second is I need not go to the supermarket. We are going to the restaurant tonight. I need not go to the supermarket. We are going to the restaurant tonight. So that is in future. Means tonight we will be going to the restaurant. So I do not need to go to the supermarket. Then the next one is would. Would is used for wish or request. Would you shut the door, please? Would you shut the door, please? I would buy a car someday. This is wish. What is wish? I would buy a car soon. I would like to buy this car. I would like to buy a house. Okay. So that is what is wish. Then the next one is habits in the past. Means sometimes he would bring me some flowers. Sometimes he would bring me some flowers. That means some habits in the past. He would go for a walk every day when he was young. He would go for a walk every day when he was young. Then the third one is the would is used for past form of will. Past form of will. He told me yesterday that he would call me. Past form that. He told me yesterday that he would call me. So would is the past form of will. Then ought to. The next is ought to. Ought to is advice. You ought to drive carefully in bad weather. You ought to drive carefully. So what is this? Advice. You ought to finish your work quickly. You ought to finish your work before the deadline. So that is an advice. Then after the second form of ought is obligation. You ought to switch off the light when you leave the room. You ought to switch off the light when you leave the room. So this is what? This is an obligation. You ought to take care of your parents.
when they are sick. You ought to call your parents frequently. Then next is shall. Shall is for suggestion. Shall I carry your bag? Shall I carry your bag? That is what? It is a suggestion. Then next is should. Should is advice. You should drive carefully in the bad weather. You should take care of your parents. Then the next is obligation. The second use of should is that when we represent and when we need to express an obligation. That is obligation. You should switch off the light. You should switch off the light when you are not in the room. You should take care of your parents when they are sick. Then the next is have to or has to. Have to and has to. That means used to show compulsion. Have to is used to show compulsion. Have to is used to show. Has to is used to show compulsion. Now again we know have to and has to are used with, has to is used with singular and have to is used with plural. Now they are used to show compulsion. And what compulsion? That is, I have to wake up early morning. I have to wake up early in the morning. He has to perform on stage for his birthday. Then I had to go to Delhi yesterday. So all these things, they are have to and has to. And plus had to also, which I have not mentioned, but had to also. Then, what do they express? What do they express? What do the modals express? They can have more than one meaning depending on the situation. So till now what we have been doing, I have been telling you about shall, different usage means will has 2 or 3 uses, shall has 1 use, then 1 or 2 uses, then may, might, must, everything can has 4 to 5 uses. Then all these, whatever we are, how the uses change according to the situations. The usage means for different situations, the different meaning, the different form of, different meanings of modals are used. Means modals are used to reflect different situations. Then, the next is what do they express? This we have already discussed. That is, to understand it better, we are going to, means whatever we have discussed till now, now again there is one more form that I am expressing the same thing in a different form so that it becomes more easier for your understanding, that you are able to understand it properly. That there are 3 categories, means 3 ways how we divide modals according to the concepts. That is, the single concept modals, then single concept modals, they have 1 meaning. Double concept modals, they have 2 meanings. And then the third type of modals, they have 3 meanings. So it is that 3 types of modal, three situations in which modals are used. Means modals, they have 1 concept, means the modals which have only 1 concept. Then there are modals which have 2 concepts, means which can be used in 2 situations. And then there are modals which have 3 or more concepts. So now we have these categories, means modals which are used in these categories. The first one is will. Will means single concept modals. Then we have the double concept modals and then modals in past. That is, first is will, shall, should, ought to, have, had better. So these are the modals which can be used only for 1 concept. Then double concept modals, may, must, would, shall, could, can. So I have already given you examples. Then modals in past, would have, could have, might have, should have, may have and must have. Now, single concept modals means will. Will is used for future. Will is used for future. That is, Joe will travel to New York next week. Joe will travel to New York next week. I will finish my work by next week. I will go to Delhi for a meeting next month. So this is what it is called future. Then the second is might. Might is small probability. I might move to Canada someday. I might move to Canada someday. I might switch the company. I might learn music or dance. I might learn dancing. So there is this is means a small probability, means the thing might happen or it might not happen. So that is small, that is why it is called small probability. Now the third is should. Should is for recommendations. You should go to the doctor if you are not well. You should listen to your parents when they are in problem. You should lend an ear to your friends. Then next is ought to. Ought to is formal recommendation. We ought to know about first aids. We ought to switch off the lights when we leave the room. We ought to study hard in order to score good marks. Then the next one is had better. That's a warning. I had better study or I will fail the test. I had better study or I will fail the test. Now we have the double concept modals. The modals which have more than one concept. That is may. May is permission and may is good probability. May is permission. May I come in? That is somebody seeking permission. May I come in? Then we may visit Mexico this summer. We may visit. That means there is a good probability maybe that we have already made our plan. So we may visit Mexico this summer. Then the second is must. Must is used for responsibility. Everyone must pay taxes. So that is, it shows the responsibility, that it is responsibility of every one of us to pay the taxes for a better standard, better living. So that is, everyone must pay the taxes. Then must is used for the second, that is, the second must is used for assumption. She didn't arrive. She must be late. She must be sick. She didn't arrive. She must be sick. She didn't do well in her exams. She must have not studied. She must have been sick. Then that is must is for assumption. She didn't arrive. She must be sick. Then the next is would. Would is past. Would is used for, generally it is used for past. So in past, would is used for when I was young, I would play soccer. When I was young, I used to go for a walk every day. Then would. Second is present, unreal. I would buy the car, but I can't afford it. I would come first. I would come first in swimming, but I do not know how to swim. So this is what it is. It is something which is unreal situation. Now we come to the third. Few more double concept, not the third one. Few more modals with double concept. That is shall. Shall is used for educated expression often. That is shall. You shall. Excuse me, I shall go now. Shall I come in? Excuse me, I shall go now. Or it is, shall I clean it? So these are for educated people when they offer something. Then the second is, shall is contractual obligation. Contractual obligation, the company shall pay on January 1st. The company shall pay on January 1st. That means there is a contract. That is when the company is going to pay. Then the third is could. Could is unreal ability. I could go if I had time. That means something unreal, something which is unreal. I could go if I had time. No, you never know that if you had time whether you would do it or not. So such kind of conditions are specified this way, expressed this way. Then second is past ability. She could play the piano, not anymore. She could play the piano means that means she used to play piano at some time but not anymore. She could dance when she was young but not now. That means in the past she had that ability to do something, but now that ability has been lost. Then third is can. Can is present ability. We can speak English. She can speak English thoroughly. She can cook delicious food. That means this is the ability which the person has at the present moment. Then the second is permission. Can I have a cup of coffee? Can I sit? So this is can. Yeah. So now after this, the same thing has been represented in this chart form. All the things what we people have discussed till now means if any one of you want to learn or learn by heart the modals, then this chart is there and everything, all the conditions, everything is under this is mentioned in this chart. So it will be very easy for you if you can keep this chart on the desk, on your writing table, on your desk, or just in front of your cupboard, means any place where you pass by a number of times in a day. So when the more you will be able to see this chart, the more you will be able to learn about these things in the chart. So the first one is the category of the chart is. First is probability or possibility, means there are different categories: probability, possibility, then we have ability, then we have permission, obligation and advice, and then we have offers. Means on the basis of usage, on the basis of what the modals reflect, what are the conditions that modals, means in which conditions which modals are used. On that basis we have categorized the modals. Means first is can. Can is used, like can is what? Can is ability. I can play the piano. Then can is also permission. Can I get out? Can I go out tonight? So it is ability also and it is permission also. Then second one is can't. Can't is used for possibility or probability. Can is used for possibility. She can be his friend. She is too young. She can be his mom. She is too young. She can be his relative. She is too rich. So this is what is probability or possibility. Then the next is I can't speak German. I can't speak German. So what is this? This is the ability. Can't is used for reflecting the ability. Then the third one is can't is used for permission. Can I borrow the car? Can I borrow the car? No, I can't. Can I borrow the car? No, I can't. So after this we have might. After can't we have might. Might is it might rain tomorrow. Again, might is used to reflect probability. Might is used to show probability. It might rain tomorrow. Then might is second usage of might is ability. Sorry, not ability. The second usage of might is permission. May I come in? May I leave the table? That is permission. May is used to reflect permission. Then after that we have must. Must is again probability. She must be his sister as they share the same looks. She must be his sister as they share the same looks. Then might is also used for obligation or advice. She must leave before the clock strikes 12. She must